Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Black Lightning episode 6. As always, I'm going to reveal spoilers. So if you have not seen the video, or if you haven't seen this episode yet, then don't watch this video yet. Come back and watch it on my channel, but don't watch it yet if you don't want to know the spoilers. So a lot happens in this episode, so let's just get into it. First off, can we just acknowledge the fact that this soundtrack is just everything that I've ever needed in a show? Like I haven't heard a soundtrack like this to a TV show that I've just fallen in love with every single episode. As soon as this episode begins, we get to hear J. Cole's "For Whom the Bell Tolls." I see the rain coming down before my very eyes. I'm a huge J. Cole fan. Not recently. I'm not one of these bandwagon fans who started liking him after Forest Hills Drive. No, been here since Lights Please, okay? Just to let you know. Anyway, let's jump into what actually happened in the episode. So this episode starts off where the last episode ended, like literally right where the last episode ended, because in the last episode, Jefferson Black Lightning was unconscious in the street because he kept getting those migraines, remember? And like he couldn't fight normally. So he was like unconscious on the ground. Gambi came and got him. And then Gambi went and got Lynn, who's a doctor. I don't know if they've mentioned Lynn's last name before, but he repeatedly throughout this episode, they repeatedly call Lynn Stewart. Like, I don't know if they put enough emphasis on it in the past, but this episode particularly, they keep calling her Lynn Stewart. Gambi called her that. Lady Eve called her that. It's interesting because who else in the DC comics has a last name of Stewart? Do you know? I know. It's John Stewart. John Stewart, aka Green Lantern. One of the Green Lanterns. If you don't know, there's multiple. There's a group. A corp? Is it called the Corp? Or Green Lantern Corps? What is it? I think that's what it's called. The Green Lantern Corps. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, there's multiple Green Lanterns, but one of them is a black man named John Stewart. So I just think it would be so cool. Maybe not in this season. Maybe it's too early, but at least in season 2, if she's like, hey, my brother's in town. And then we get to see John, aka Green Lantern. I think that would be so cool. Anyway. So yeah, that's like a little thing from the comic books. If you're just a fan of the show and don't really know much about the comics, then now you know. They are hinting at the fact that she's related to John Stewart. So anyway, Lynn is upset. Like, she's really mad that Jefferson keeps getting hurt and he keeps putting himself in a position to get hurt. Jefferson is so determined to keep fighting because he realizes that the man who killed his father is still alive and he's trying to get to him. And he keeps telling Lynn, my father's dead. And she's like, I don't give a damn, Jefferson. And then Jefferson is like, wow. And so was I. I was like, dang, Lynn. Like, how insensitive can you be? His father died. Like, goodness, have a heart. But like, Lynn does not care at all. And that's what she said. She's like, I don't want to lose you and all this stuff. And you don't know how hard it is for me. And if you don't know, I made a whole video about how I do not like Lynn. But she has a point. She definitely has a point. And, you know, I wouldn't want to be with a superhero either, because I wouldn't want him to go out fighting one night and not come back. But, you know, me, I would just distance myself and not have a relationship with that person. But she's like on the fence. Anyway. So I don't like Lynn, but she does have a point. But Jefferson is still determined to keep fighting. So even though Lynn doesn't like it, he's still going to do it anyway. In other news, Anissa is still out there using her powers. In this episode, she, at her university, she joins a protest and they deface a Confederate statue. And they all get arrested. the people who are defacing the statue, they get arrested, and then Jefferson has to go get Anissa from jail, and he's mad at her, and he's like, why would you do that? It's dangerous. They could have attacked you. They being the police, they could have attacked you. You don't know what could have happened. You had a gun. And she was like, it was a water gun, Dad. And then he was like, I don't care. It looked real enough for them to have any type of motive to shoot you. They don't care. What did he say? I think he said, they won't look at your humanity. They'll look at your skin tone or something like that. But he was, it's just a good segue into like police brutality again. So I thought that was interesting. Jefferson is really worried about Anissa, and he doesn't want her to keep going out there fighting and protecting people and standing up for what she believes in, which is really ironic because that's the same thing that Jefferson is doing. And he says, I love you and I don't want to lose you because you didn't walk away from something. And that's literally how Lynn feels about Jefferson. So I think that he made that mental connection like, oh, that's probably how she feels about me. But it doesn't stop him because Jefferson keeps on fighting, and it's not going to stop Anissa either. She's going to keep fighting because that's just who they are. They're fighters. Meanwhile, Gambi is really pushing Jefferson to not go after Tobias and Tobias' henchmen. He really doesn't want Jefferson to kill them, and he keeps saying it's for your soul. Your soul will be tainted after you kill someone. You'll never be the same. It's going to change you and all this stuff. But if you've seen the last episode, then you know that Gambi has been like in cahoots or whatever with Tobias. So I feel like Gambi's just really trying to not let Jefferson get close enough to Tobias to learn Tobias's secrets, because if he learns Tobias's secrets, then he's also going to learn Gambi's secrets. So he ain't slick. We know what's up. Anyway, in other news, Jennifer is having concerns about Khalil, and she's feeling like, I was so excited to start dating and I was so happy, and now my boyfriend's shot and he's paralyzed and he's really down on himself and this isn't what I want and all this stuff. And her dad tells her like, hey, maybe you should like take a break or something like that. At school, remember that girl that she like broke that girl's wrist? That girl is being a cyber bully and saying that Jennifer isn't black enough and she acts white and she has no rhythm and all this stuff. And people actually stood up for Jennifer and told that bully that, this is why there's this light skin versus dark skin debate, and there's no label for being black, or there's no one type of blackness, and people are actually standing up for Jennifer, except for Khalil, her boyfriend, who's not just her boyfriend but has been her long-term friend, is actually joining in with this bully and making fun of her too. So that's why she's really hurt, and that makes her want to go and have a conversation with Khalil. And Khalil is completely unapologetic, does not care that he has hurt her in any type of way. He's like, I did the right thing. I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink. I went to church. I never got anyone pregnant, and God still took my legs away and all this stuff. He's just full of resentment, and he's bitter, and it's a bad look, and he's just really down on himself, and he's turning more and more evil. And like 2 episodes ago, maybe, Tobias went to talk to Khalil. So that's probably another reason why he's getting more and more mean. Tobias is like rubbing off on Khalil. What else? Yeah, Jennifer says like, after he just says mean thing after mean thing, he called her Becky. Oh, I was so upset. I was like, oh, it is wrong to punch someone in a wheelchair, isn't it? It would be a mean thing to punch someone in a wheelchair, but it would have took self-restraint, especially knowing that I could run away before he could swing back. That made me mad. Like, he was just unnecessarily mean to her, and they were friends before they were ever in a relationship, and I know he's going through stuff, but Jennifer's nicer than me. She is nicer than me. But yeah, so that's their conversation, and they're just in this weird space. She said we should take a break, but he doesn't really seem concerned about taking a break, and he seems more like, I mean, let's just not be together. But I can't remember if they actually broke up or not, but they are not on good terms. Yeah, they're not. So back to Anissa. Anissa, one of the girls that Anissa was protesting with, she went to another protest, and a car drove through the protesters and hit her, and she died. That actually happened in real life. Just in case you don't know, I feel like you should know, but yeah, that happened in real life. Someone actually did die. So that was the inspiration for this episode, I guess. So Jennifer goes to the statue, and they've created like a memorial for this girl who died, and Anissa just like stomps on the ground, and with her like force, the statue just like crumbles down, and she leaves, and she's like shaken up, and she calls her mom, and she's like, hey, I need to tell you a secret about me. And the mom's like, okay, I'm at work. While Lynn is at work, some guys come in and they break in, and they're trying to get her research. Lady Eve sent them to get her research because Lynn is figuring things out that she shouldn't be figuring out. So Anissa comes to Lynn's job. She sees her mom being tied up. She beats up the bad guys. The bad guys run away. Anissa is trying to untie her mom, and Black Lightning shows up because he was on the phone with Lynn when the bad guys came in, so he knew what was going on. But Anissa beat him there. When Black Lightning walks in, he just sees Anissa in her costume, doesn't realize that it's Anissa. For some reason, he can't tell his own daughter just because she has on a blonde wig and gold glittery eyeshadow on her face. He can't recognize his own daughter. Okay. So he starts fighting her, and for some reason, Anissa can't recognize her own dad just because he's in some metallic full body suit with shades. She can't recognize her own dad either. Okay, all right. Comic book logic. Anyway. But yeah, they fight each other. Anissa holds her own very well, but eventually Black Lightning does win. And then when she's unconscious on the floor, Black Lightning flips her over, and then he's like, oh no, it's Anissa. I don't know why he could tell then, but he couldn't tell 2 minutes before, but whatever. So they take Anissa back home. When she wakes up, Lynn is there with her, and she looks over, and in the corner of the room, it's her dad without the shades of his costume, and she can realize that Black Lightning is her father. So that's how the episode ends. As I said, a lot happens in this episode, a lot. Still another fantastic episode. It does bother me how two people who, Anissa has known her dad her entire life. Jefferson raised Anissa, and he's also the parent that actually lives with her, but they can't tell each other apart just because they're in full body suits. In Jefferson's case, he has on glasses. I'm a completely different person. Let's just imagine these are tinted because his shades aren't even blacked out. They're just tinted. But just imagine that. I'm a completely different person. You have no idea who I am, do you? You have no idea. In Anissa's case, it's literally just gold eyeshadow and a blonde wig. How can you not recognize your own daughter? But anyway. That upsets me, but another great episode. Can't wait for next week. Check around the channel and see some other videos. I hope you like this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.